everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gracie and today I'm going to be talking about my post-op 1 week lap band and just some of the stuff that happened and things that I think you guys should know. So basically I got my lap band August 30th of 2018, so it's been about a week ago, but my doctor, he actually had put me on a liquids diet 2 weeks prior to surgery. So far I have lost 23 pounds, which is great because I haven't weighed that since like 3 years ago, so that's really good. And yeah, so basically like how it started out was I had heard of this thing. Basically everyone's heard of like the gastric bypass, and I had heard of that, but I didn't really want to do that. But I was looking for another option to like get my health under control. Not that it was necessarily bad, but just before it got bad, because I didn't want to get to be older and have problems with it. So I basically was like looking through options, and I had come across lap bands, and I had done a lot of research on them. And basically, if you don't know what a lap band is, it's basically like a silicone band that goes around the top of the stomach, and it basically just limits the food you can eat, and so you're not eating as much. You can pretty much eat the same things, but it's just a lot of small quantities and small portions of it, which is really good because that kind of was my problem, because I'd go a day where I wouldn't eat anything, and then the next day I'd eat lots of stuff. And so it took a long time to kind of get in that right like mindset that that's what was causing it. So I think another reason the doctor was like, okay, 2 weeks of liquids before the surgery was so that you get used to eating those smaller things and feeling fuller on less. And so I got it August 30th, like I was saying, and basically like I went in 7 o'clock in the morning. I was done by 12 o'clock, and when I went, they basically were just like, they called me back, and I was really nervous, and I was like thinking, like, is this really what I want to do? Like, but I had tried everything else. I tried working out at the gym, I had tried, you know, just watching what I eat, and it just wasn't working very well for me. And so I was like, yeah, this is it, this is what I'm gonna do. This is like a new part in my life that's gonna be great. And so I went back, and they got me into a gown and on the hospital bed, and they had come to do an IV. And the funny thing is that I've always had a hard time like getting poked with IVs because I can never find a vein, and because my veins are just really little for some reason. And so they had ended up poking me right here in the hand, and the vein disappeared, so they couldn't get it. And then they poked me in the forearm, and same thing, the vein disappeared. And so finally they ended up getting me right here in the wrist, and that one hurt so bad, but that's like where they ended up getting it, so that's where it was. And I just remember holding my hand like this, and I could feel the end of like the tubing on my fingers, and I was like, this feels really weird, and my hand went numb. But so basically they started me with that, gave me a shot in the belly that was for antibiotics, and then afterwards we basically just, I laid there for a while and just waiting, and they came in, and they're like, this nurse came in, and he's like, are you ready? And I was like, at this point I was like, should I just get up and run, because I don't even know. And so I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And so he takes me back, and he the funny thing too is he had told me, he's like, this is just a light sedative, I'm putting it in your IV. And so I was like, okay, cool, it's like some compound of like melatonin, right? No, it wasn't. It was this sedative. It was, yeah, it was the sedative. But basically he put it in, and I ended up passing out like within like seconds. I remember going through the doors, and then I ended up waking up, and it was just like this weird sensation, because I almost felt like nothing and everything at the same time. Don't know if that's normal or not, but I remember them saying, oh, Gracie, are you awake? And I was like, I'm awake, even though like I wasn't, and all I wanted to do was sleep. And after a while they had came in, and they were like, who's out here out in the waiting room waiting for you? And I had brought my sister and my mom, and so I was like, oh, my mom, my sister. And they went and got my sister and my mom, and they came in, and I just remember yelling like, apparently, so my sister's nickname is Willis, and so I just remember yelling like, Willis, and it was really weird. And so they gave me some medicine to kind of help with the pain, and I puked right up. I just kept puking, which is really bad because you don't want to do that with the lap band. because it can slip up the stomach. But basically, yeah, I was just like puking, and it was really bad and really like really hard to wake up for me for some reason. But after about an hour and a half or so, I finally was like coming through and I was awake and stuff, and they took the IV out and everything, and I was like, thank goodness. And so they took all that out, and then they were like, okay, you can get dressed and go home. So I was getting dressed and stuff, and I just remember standing up and I was like, oh, my stomach, it just hurts. And they got me a wheelchair and took me out to my mom's car, and I ended up going home for a few days. And so the few days that I went home, the first day was definitely the hardest because all I did was sleep. All I wanted to do was sleep. Second day wasn't as bad, and I was actually like eating some stuff, like I guess drinking, because I was drinking chicken broth and stuff. So for 4 days after surgery, that's all I drank was chicken broth and water and a little bit of apple juice. And I tried Jello, but for some reason it just wasn't really going down well for me, and it didn't really work for me. So I didn't really have much of that either. And so basically I was just trying to walk around a lot and move around a lot, and it was an ordeal, to say the least. And so basically just kind of relaxed for a few days and had some Powerade 2 in there. And after the 4th day, I ended up leaving my parents' house and coming back to where I live now. And yeah, it was, once I was here, then I had a few bites of mashed potatoes. I've had a little bit of chicken noodle soup, some applesauce, yogurt, small soft things. And it's just weird to see how like fast your stomach fills up compared to what it did before. Because before, I mean, I could eat a whole can of chicken noodle soup, and now I can have like maybe 1/4 of a can if I like push it out for a while, you know. I mean, I obviously can't eat it all at once, but if it's, you know, over a course of 45 minutes. And I also have a really hard time because like you're not supposed to drink after you eat or during when you're eating, which I find really hard too, because I used to just, you know, you take a bite and you drink some water or whatever, Sprite, whatever you have, and you just can't do that now. So that's really hard for me. But so far, the first week, I think it's gone pretty well. I feel pretty good. I can see it in my face a lot, right here and along my jawline. It's kind of more defined, my chin, everything. My face just looks better already, which is amazing. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to leave a like, comment anything you want to know about lap band. Hopefully I can answer for you. And yeah, subscribe.